Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you all are doing well and good. So the subject I'm going to be talking about now is going to be software engineering and project management bearing the subject code 21 CS61. So without any delay, let's get into the video. So the contents of this video is going to be the introduction, the planning principles, advantages and disadvantages of planning principles, the examples, the modeling principles, advantages and disadvantages of the modeling principle, the example for the modeling principle, and the conclusion at the last. So moving on, we have the introduction. So planning and modeling are critical activities in software engineering and project management. So this is going to involve outlining the overall steps and strategies that is to be followed throughout the project life cycle and creating representations of systems to analyze and communicate their structure and the behavior as a whole. So moving on, the planning principle. So setting goals, establishing clear and achievable objectives that our project aims to accomplish. Next one is defining roles, assigning specific responsibilities and tasks to team members to ensure everyone knows their part in the project. Next one is outlining tasks, detailing the individual steps and activity requirement to reach the project's objectives. Next one is creating a roadmap, developing a comprehensive plan that is going to guide the project from initiation through to completion. Aligning stakeholders and allocating resources, ensuring all stakeholders are on the same page and that the necessary resources are appropriately distributed for successful project execution. Moving on, we have the advantages and the disadvantages. So the clear objective and goal. Advantage here is helping define the project's scope and deliverables. Next is the example. A software development team sets milestones for developing a new mobile application, ensuring everyone is going to understand the project's goals. Next one is resource management. The advantage here is ensuring optimal allocation and utilization of resources. Example is planning is going to help identify the number of developers needed at different stages, avoiding resource overuse or underutilization. Next one is risk management. Advantage is identifying the potential risk and develops mitigation strategies. Example for this is during the planning phase, a project manager is going to identify the risk of the key team members, leaving and planning for backups itself. So moving on to the continuation of this itself, the performance measurement. Advantage, facilitating tracking of project progress against planned objectives. Example, project managers can compare actual progress with the planned schedule to identify delay and take corrective actions. Next one is improved communication. Advantage here is establishing clear lines of communication among the stakeholders. Example is regular planning meetings, ensuring that everyone is updated on the project's progress and any changes in direction. So moving on, we have the disadvantages. So it is time consuming. So planning can be a lengthy process that delays the start of actual work. Example is extensive planning sessions delay the kickoff of a software development project, leading to a tight timeline for actual coding. Next one is inflexibility. Disadvantage here is rigid plan may not adapt well to changes or unexpected issues. Example here is a detailed plan that does not account for technological advancements made because obsolete, requiring significant adjustments. Next one is cost. So the disadvantage here is involving significant upfront cost in terms of time and resource. Example here is high level planning sessions involving multiple stakeholders and experts that is going to increase the initial cost process. So moving on with the continuation itself, false sense of security. Disadvantage here is may even create overconfidence in the project's success, ignoring the real-time issues. Example here is teams may even rely too heavily on the plan and even overlook emerging problems, assuming the plan will guide them throughout. Next one is overcomplication. Disadvantage here is detailed planning can even lead to overcomplicating the most simplest of tasks. Example here is micromanaging every small task in the planning phase can lead to unnecessary complexity and confusion. So moving on, we have an example here that is developing a real-time chat application. So the objective is basically defining the features such as the user authentication, real-time messaging, group chats, media sharing and notification. The resource here is again assigning front-end developers, the back-end developers, the UI or the UX designers and the QA testers. Risk management is identifying the potential risks such as server downtime, data breach, performance issue during higher traffics. Plan for mitigation strategies like implementing load balancing and encryption. Communication. Now, setting up regular meetings with stakeholders for updating and feedback. Performance management. Establishing KPIs such as user management rates, message delivery times, and system uptimes, respectively. So, moving on, we have modeling now. So, modeling is the creation of abstract representation, that is, models of a system which can be diagrams, charts, or even simulations. These models are going to help in visualizing, understanding, and communicating the overall structure and behavior of a system. So, moving on, we have the advantages itself. So first one is enhanced understanding. Advantage here is providing a clear and visual representation of the system. Example here is UML diagrams are going to help developers to understand the architecture of a software application. Next one is improved communication. Advantage: facilitates the communication among team members and stakeholders. Example is use case diagrams help explain system functionality to non-technical stakeholders. Risk reduction. Advantage here is identifying the potential issues early in the development process. Example here is simulation models are going to reveal performance bottlenecks before implementation begins. So moving on with the continuation of this, we have documentation. So advantage: creates comprehensive documentation that can be referred throughout the entire project lifecycle. Example here is sequence diagram documents the interaction between system components, aiding future maintenance. Reuse. Advantage here is promoting reuse of models for similar projects, saving time and effort. Example here is component model for previous projects can be reused in new projects with similar requirements. So moving on to the disadvantages, we have time and effort. Creating detailed images models can be time consuming and labor intensive. Example here is developing comprehensive UML diagrams for a larger system is going to require significant efforts and expertise. Next one is complexity. Disadvantage here is complex models can be difficult to understand and maintain. Example here is overly detailed ER diagrams may become cumbersome and confusing for newer team members. Next one is false security. Disadvantage here is may give a false sense for completeness and correctness. Example here is that models do not account for real world variability and may lead to unrealistic expectations. So moving on with the continuation, we have tool dependency. So disadvantage here is reliance on modeling tools can lead to problems if tools are not available or compatible. Example here is proprietary modeling tools may not be supported in future projects, leading to compatibility issues. Overhead costs. Disadvantage here is requiring investment in training and tools itself. Example is training an entire team member to use advanced modeling tools and techniques is going to incur additional costs. So moving on, we have an example. So this example is again based on the same chat model development itself. So here you are creating a use case diagram for user interactions, that is sending messages, class diagram for system structure, that is user message, chat room, media, notification, and sequence diagram for message delivery. Documentation. You are going to be developing a detailed documentation for each component, including functional specifications, design documents, and user manuals. Simulation. So you are going to test the messaging system and server performance using simulation models in order to ensure seamless message delivery and system stability under high traffic. Next one is reuse. So you are going to reuse the authentication and authorization models from previous projects to streamline user account management and security. So moving on, we have the conclusion to this particular video, that is effective planning and modeling in software engineering and project management project, a structured approach to managing the project, ensuring clear objective, resource optimization and risk management. However, they are going to require a balance in order to avoid over planning and excessive modeling, which can even lead to delay, inflexibility and increased cost. So the key is to leverage these practices to ensure understanding, communication and project success while remaining adaptable and responsible to changes. So I hope you understood whatever was dealt in this particular video, from planning principles to the advantages, the disadvantages along with the example. Then came the modeling whatever it dealt with, the advantages, the disadvantages and the examples. So I hope you enjoyed this particular video. Thank you for watching.